The Colosseum stands before you now, a skeleton of its former self. Tourists photograph the arches, the crumbling tiers, the spaces where marble once gleamed. A tour guide recites facts in 5 languages, 50,000 capacity, 80 entrances, completed in 80 AD. The numbers are impressive, but they're just numbers. They can't tell you what it was really like. They can't tell you what it meant to step onto that sand, knowing you might never leave. Close your eyes. When you open them, the year is 80 AD. The Flavian Amphitheater, what will one day be called the Colosseum, has just been completed. Emperor Titus has declared 100 days of games to celebrate. 100 days of blood. And you're about to see it from the inside, not as a spectator, as a gladiator. The smell hits you before anything else. Sweat. Animal musk. Blood that's soaked into stone and can never be fully washed away. You're in the Hypogeum, the underground warren beneath the arena floor. Torchlight flickers off damp walls. The air is thick, hard to breathe. Around you, in cells barely large enough to lie down in, are the others? Men who will kill today. Men who will die today. Sometimes both. You hear him before you see him? Quintus, your lanista, the trainer who owns you. His footsteps echo on stone, deliberate, unhurried. He stops at your cell, and the torchlight catches his face, scarred. One eye milky white from a wound that should have killed him 20 years ago. He survived the arena. Now he profits from it. Your fight is in 3 hours, he tells you. Against a retiarius, a net fighter. Fast, tricky, armed with a trident and weighted net. You're a Murmillo. Heavy armor, large shield, short sword. Strength against speed. The crowd loves this matchup. They've been betting on it for days. Quintus doesn't ask if you're ready. He knows you have no choice. You were a soldier once, captured on the Germanic frontier when your century was overrun. That was 2 years ago. 2 years of training in the Ludus, the Gladiator school. 2 years of learning that your life is no longer yours. It belongs to Rome now. To the crowd, to the sand. He leaves. You're alone again with your thoughts and the sounds. Somewhere nearby, a lion roars. The exotic animals are kept down here too, in the same darkness, waiting for their moment in the sun before they're slaughtered for entertainment. You hear men praying to Mars, to Fortuna, to gods you've never heard of. You hear someone vomiting. You hear the quiet sobbing of a boy who can't be more than 16, condemned for theft, given a sword and told to fight. A hand reaches through the bars of the adjacent cell. Gaius, a Thracian fighter, curved sword specialist, your only friend in this place. His fight is before yours, against a secutor. He grips your forearm in the gladiator's greeting, and you feel the calluses on his palm, hard as stone from years of gripping weapons. See you in Elysium, he says. He's trying to joke, but his voice shakes. You both know the odds. Maybe 1 in 5 gladiators dies in the arena. Those are better odds than war, but worse than anything else. And every time you step onto that sand, the count resets. Your previous victories mean nothing. 1 mistake, 1 slip, 1 moment of bad luck, and your story ends in front of 50,000 screaming strangers. The trumpet sounds above, distant but clear. The games have begun. The preliminary events. The animal hunts, the executions. The crowd is warming up, learning how to roar as one. You can feel the vibration through the stone. 50,000 people directly above your head, their excitement building like a storm. Time moves strangely down here, too fast and too slow. Slaves bring water, bread soaked in wine. You force yourself to eat. Your body needs fuel. Your hands are shaking. You clench your fists, willing them steady. You've fought 4 times before, won 4 times, but the fear never goes away. It changes shape, finds new ways to grip your throat, but it never leaves. They come for Gaius, guards in leather armor, short swords at their hips. He stands, rolls his shoulders, meets your eyes one last time. Then he's gone, swallowed by the torchlit corridor that leads to the elevator platforms. You listen to his footsteps fade. You listen to the mechanism engage above, the ropes and pulleys that will lift him to the arena floor like a sacrifice rising to the gods. The crowd explodes. Even through stone and earth, the sound is enormous. They're chanting something. A name? Maybe Gaius's? Maybe his opponent's. You can't tell. The noise is just texture now, a constant roar that your mind tries to filter into meaning, but can't. Minutes pass, or hours. You've lost the ability to measure time. Then you hear it. A change in the crowd's voice. A collective gasp. Then a surge of noise that peaks and breaks like a wave. Someone has fallen. Someone is dead or dying. The roar continues, which means the fight isn't over. One gladiator is down, but the other hasn't finished it yet. The crowd is deciding. Thumbs turning. Voices screaming for mercy or for blood. Then silence. Sudden and complete. The death blow has been given. The crowd takes a breath. You close your eyes and pray it wasn't Gaius. You pray to gods you're not sure you believe in anymore. You pray to the sand itself, to Rome, to anything that might listen. The guards come for you. Your legs move automatically. You've trained for this. Muscle memory carries you when thought fails. They lead you through the corridor, past cells where other gladiators watch you go with eyes that hold everything. Pity, relief that it's not them yet. The knowledge that soon it will be. The corridor slopes upward. The air changes. You smell the arena now. Fresh sand. Exotic perfumes from the crowd. The copper tang of blood already spilled. You step onto the platform. Wood beneath your feet, chains and pulleys above. 2. Slaves work the mechanism. They don't look at you. To them, you're cargo. The platform lurches, begins to rise. Light breaks through the trapdoor above. Sunlight, blinding after the darkness below. The roar of the crowd crashes over you like a physical force. You emerge into the center of the world. The Colosseum surrounds you, rises above you, a perfect oval of humanity, and marble and impossible engineering. 50,000 faces blur into a single organism, watching, judging, hungering. The sun is merciless, reflecting off the fresh sand. The awnings above provide shade for the wealthy, but here on the killing floor, there is no shelter. You see him immediately. Your opponent, the Retiarius. He's already circling, his net coiled in his left hand, trident in his right. No helmet, no armor except a shoulder guard. His skin is dark, North African maybe, his body lean and corded with muscle. He moves like water, light on his feet, and you know instantly he's fast. Faster than you. Your armor is heavy, bronze helmet, the visor shaped like a fish. Hence your name. Murmillo, the fishman. Large rectangular shield, sword arm protected by padding and metal. Your legs are bare except for one greave. You are a fortress. He is a hunter. The contrast is intentional. The crowd loves opposites. The editor of the games stands in the pulvener, the emperor's box. Titus himself is there, crowned and golden, flanked by senators and priests. He raises his hand. The crowd quiets to a murmur. 50,000 people holding their breath as one. Then his hand drops. The fight begins. The Retiarius doesn't charge. He circles, keeping distance, flicking the trident toward you in quick jabs that test your defense. You raise your shield, absorb the strikes. The bronze rings with each impact. The crowd is shouting advice, insults, bets being adjusted in real time. You tune it out. There is only him. Only you. Only the sand between you. He throws the net. You see it coming, beautiful and deadly, spreading in the air like a spider's web. You dive left, feel it brush your shoulder, hear the weighted edges hit the sand behind you. For a moment, You're exposed, off balance. He lunges with the trident, aiming for your neck. You bring the shield up desperately. The trident glances off bronze, the force of it numbing your arm. You regain your feet. He's already pulled the net back, coiling it again. He's grinning. He thinks he has your measure. You let him think it. The sun beats down. Sweat runs into your eyes behind the helmet. Your vision is limited, just slits in bronze. You have to turn your whole head to track him. He feints left, throws right. The net comes again. This time, you're ready. You catch it on your shield, twist, pull. The weighted edges wrap around the bronze. For a moment, the net is tangled. For a moment, he's without his primary weapon. You charge. Your sword comes down in an overhead strike, meant to split his skull. He's fast, so fast, rolling away. Your blade hits sand, sends up a spray of gold. The crowd roars. They love this. They love watching you try to kill each other with technical precision and desperate brutality in equal measure. He's freed the net. You're both breathing hard now. The fight has been going for minutes, but it feels like hours. Your arm is getting heavy. The armor that protects you also drains you. He knows this. He just has to wait. Keep moving. Let exhaustion become his ally. But you're not just strong. You've been trained by Quintus, one of the best lanistas in Rome. You know patience too. You know how to read an opponent. And you see it. The slight favor he gives his left leg. An old injury maybe. A weakness. You press toward that side. He adjusts, but the adjustment costs him a fraction of his speed. The net comes again, but this time you don't dodge. You take it. Let it wrap around your shield arm. Let him think he has you. He comes in with the trident, going for the kill. And you release the shield. It falls, taking the net with it. Your sword arm is free. He's committed to the thrust. For one heartbeat, he's exposed. Your gladius comes up, fast, professional, finds the gap between his ribs. He gasps, not a scream, just a small sound of surprise. The trident falls from his hands. You pull the sword free and step back. He sinks to his knees in the sand, one hand pressed to the wound. Blood flows between his fingers, dark and steady. The crowd is on its feet. The noise is deafening. You stand there breathing hard, waiting. This is not your decision. This has never been your decision. The retiarius looks up at the pulvener, at Titus, at the editor. His lips move in a plea you can't hear over the roar. The crowd is shouting. 50,000 voices trying to influence one man's choice. Some scream for mercy. Most scream for death. This is what they came for. This is what they paid for. The moment when a human life hangs in the balance and they get to decide its worth. You watch Titus, the emperor of Rome, master of the known world. He's consulting with advisors. They're discussing something. Maybe how well the retiarius fought. Maybe how much his owner paid for this appearance. Maybe how the crowd seems to be leaning. Politics, economics, entertainment, all mixing together to determine if this man lives or dies. Titus extends his hand, his thumb, and you can't tell. The gesture is ambiguous, deliberately so. The decision passes to the editor of the games, a wealthy senator seeking popularity. He reads the crowd, measures their bloodlust against their mercy. Then his hand moves, clear, unmistakable. Death. You look down at the retiarius. He's still conscious, still watching you. There's no anger in his eyes, no pleading, just acceptance. He's known this moment was coming since the day he picked up a weapon. Every gladiator knows it. You nod to him. He nods back. Then he lifts his chin, exposing his throat. The final mercy. The quick death. One thrust, clean, through the throat or between the ribs into the heart. You've been trained for this. You know exactly where to place the blade. You step forward. Raise your sword. The crowd holds its breath again. You strike. Fast. Professional. He jerks once, then goes still. His blood soaks into the sand, turning it from gold to rust. Another color in the palette of the arena. Another death to feed the legend of Rome. The crowd roars its approval. You stand over the body, sword dripping, and raise your free hand in the salute. The crowd loves you now. You are their champion, their hero. Until the next fight when you might be the one in the sand, bleeding, waiting for the crowd to decide if you deserve to live. Slaves rush out with a stretcher. They hook the retiarius's body and drag him toward the gate of death. His heels leave twin trails in the sand. More slaves come with rakes, smoothing over the blood, spreading fresh sand. In minutes, there will be no sign he ever existed. The arena will be clean and golden and ready for the next fight. You're escorted back to the Hypogeum. The descent is slower than the rise. Your legs are shaking from exhaustion and adrenaline crash. The guards say nothing. Down in the darkness again, you stumble back to your cell. You still have your armor on. Blood, not all of it his, dries on your skin. Quintus is there. He grips your shoulder. Well done, he says. The crowd loved it. There's already talk of a rematch in 2 months, against a Hoplomachus. More prestige, more money for him, more chances to die for you. You ask about Gaius. Quintus's face goes still. You know before he speaks. The Thracian fell, he says, fought well, died well. The crowd gave him the funeral salute. Small comfort. Gaius is still dead. Your only friend in this place is gone, dragged out through the gate of death, his body dumped in a mass grave on the Esquiline Hill with the other gladiators, criminals, and slaves who died for Rome's entertainment. You sit in your cell. The stone is cold against your back. Around you, other gladiators are returning from their fights, some victorious, pumped with the strange energy that comes from killing and surviving. Some wounded, being tended by the medicus, the surgeon who keeps gladiators functional enough to fight again. Some are being carried, unconscious or dead. It doesn't matter which down here. You close your eyes and you see it again. The retiarius's face, the acceptance in his eyes, the way he lifted his chin. You've killed 4 men now, 5, counting today. You remember all their faces. You will remember them forever, however long forever lasts for you. The games continue above. You can hear them. The roars, the trumpet blasts, the machinery of entertainment grinding on. 100 days of this. 100 days of death dressed up as sport, as justice, as tribute to the gods and the emperor. You think about the crowd, 50,000 people who will go home, tonight to their families, their dinners, their safe beds. They'll talk about the fights they saw, the kills, the drama. They'll argue about who fought best, who deserved to die, who deserved mercy. And tomorrow, they'll come back for more. Because this is Rome. And Rome is hungry. You think about the retiarius. You wonder if he had a family. If someone somewhere is waiting for him to return. If they even know he's dead yet. Or if he was like you, alone in this city of millions, with nothing except the hope that maybe, if you win enough, if you survive long enough, they'll give you the wooden sword, the rudies, the symbol of freedom, the one thing every gladiator dreams of, and almost none receive. You think about Gaius, who used to joke that he'd buy a farm when he was freed, grow olives, drink wine, watch the sunset without wondering if it was his last. He'll never see that farm now. The farm was always a fantasy anyway. Most gladiators who are freed have nothing, no skills except killing, no place in society except the arena. They end up back here, volunteers this time, fighting for money instead of survival, which is really the same thing. The hours pass, night falls above, the games pause, the crowd filters out through the 80 vomitoria, the passages designed to empty the Colosseum in minutes. Engineering marvel, even in this. Even in the management of crowds coming to watch death. Food comes, barley porridge, dried fruit, water. You eat mechanically. Your body needs fuel. Tomorrow, training will resume. Quintus will work you hard, fixing the mistakes you made today. The fraction of a second you hesitated, the opening you gave the Retiarius that could have killed you. In the darkness, someone is praying. The words are in a language you don't know. German, maybe, or Gallic. Rome's arena is full of its conquered peoples, forcing them to kill each other while Romans cheer. There's a poetry to it, a brutal logic. This is what happens when you oppose the empire. You don't just die. You die for their amusement. You wonder what happens to the bodies. You've heard stories. Mass graves like you thought. But also, the carnarii, the flesh sellers, who buy gladiator corpses for their blood. Romans believe gladiator blood has healing properties, cures epilepsy, increases virility. The blood of a man who died fighting is valuable. So even in death, gladiators serve Rome's needs. You touch the scar on your shoulder. Your second fight. A scissor fighter caught you with his blade. The medicus stitched it while you were conscious, without anything for the pain. You passed out halfway through, woke up with the wound closed and Quintus standing over you, telling you that you'd fight again in 3 days. You did. You won. That's when you learned the truth. The arena doesn't care if you're hurt. It doesn't care if you're scared. It doesn't care if you want to live. It only cares if you can put on a good show. Give the crowd what they want, and you might survive another day. Disappoint them, and they'll vote for your death without a second thought. You hear footsteps? The guards are making their rounds, checking the cells, making sure no one has tried to kill themselves. It happens. Some gladiators can't face another fight. They find ways. A smuggled blade, a torn strip of tunic fashioned into a rope. The guards find them in the morning, and the lanista just shrugs and buys another slave to train. But you won't do that. You're going to survive. You're going to win. You're going to earn your freedom, buy that farm Gaius dreamed of, live long enough to forget the smell of the arena. You tell yourself this. You have to believe it. Because the alternative is accepting that you'll die here, in the sand, while strangers cheer. Sleep comes eventually. Fitful, broken by dreams of nets that won't stop coming, of sand that turns to blood beneath your feet, of crowds whose faces blur into a single screaming mass. You wake in darkness, unsure if you screamed or if that was someone else in another cell. Dawn comes slowly, light filtering down from the vents above. The Hypogeum comes to life. Gladiators stretching, testing injuries, slaves bringing breakfast, the medicus making his rounds. Above, you hear the rumble of the crowd returning. Day 2 of 100. Your next fight is 2 weeks away. 2 weeks to train, to heal, to prepare. 2 weeks to wonder if you'll be as lucky as you were yesterday. 2 weeks to remember the Retiarius's eyes. Quintus appears at your cell. Up, he says. Training. There's a new batch of slaves that arrived yesterday from Gaul. They need to see what real fighting looks like. You'll spar with them, show them what the arena demands. You stand. Your body aches. Every muscle is sore. Your sword arm is stiff. It doesn't matter. You follow Quintus up to the training grounds, a courtyard open to the sky. The Colosseum looms nearby, close enough that you can hear the roar of the current. Fights. The new slaves watch you enter. Young, terrified, skinny from the journey and the slave markets. They have no idea what's coming. No idea what it takes to survive even one fight. Quintus hands you a training sword, blunt but heavy. You take your stance. For the next 4 hours, you teach them how to hold a shield, how to move in armor, how to watch an opponent's feet instead of their weapon, how to kill efficiently because the crowd gets bored with long fights, how to die well because someday they will, and they should at least die with honor. They learn slowly. One boy, maybe 15, can't stop crying. Quintus beats him until he stops. Sentiment is weakness here. Weakness gets you killed. By the end of the session, they're moving better. Still terrible, but better. Most of them will die in their first fight. Maybe one will survive long enough to become what you are. A killer, a performer, a slave who's learned to love his chains because chains are better than death. The sun climbs higher. The heat is oppressive. You're dismissed to the baths, a luxury in the ludus. Hot water to soak aching muscles, cold water to shock the body back to alertness. You sink into the heat and close your eyes, and you're back there, in the arena. The retiarius looking up at you, chin raised, accepting. You open your eyes. The memory doesn't fade. It never will. Each kill adds to the weight you carry. Some gladiators say it gets easier. They're lying or they're broken. Either way, they're lost. You return to your cell. The afternoon stretches ahead. Some gladiators gamble. Some sleep. Some pray to gods who don't listen. You sit and you think about freedom. The wooden sword, the Rudies. How many more fights? How many more kills? Quintus has promised it. 5 more years, he says. 5 more years, and he'll petition for your freedom. 5 years. 20 fights, maybe 30. If you survive, if you don't get maimed, if the crowd keeps loving you, if. But you believe it because you have to. Because the alternative is madness. So you sit in your cell in the darkness beneath Rome's greatest monument to bloodsport, and you tell yourself that one day you'll walk out of here a free man. One day, if you survive. Above you, the crowd roars. Another fight, another death. The Colosseum is hungry. It's always hungry. And you're just trying to stay alive long enough to escape its jaws. Close your eyes now. When you open them, you're back in the ruins. The silence, the broken stone. But you know now. You know what it cost. Every seat filled. Every cheer bought with blood. Every emperor who looked down from the pulvinar and decided who lived and who died with the casual gesture of a thumb. The Colosseum still stands 2,000 years later. A monument to engineering, to entertainment, to empire, but also to the thousands who died here, who bled here, who knelt in the sand and lifted their chins and accepted that their lives were never really theirs. Their names are forgotten, their faces are dust, but they were real. They were here, and for one day, so were you.